Welcome.
Planning board. Where you go, Alex?
Hold that top down if you want to use that one. You just have to hold that down to turn it on.
Yeah. You don't have, it's not in there. It was in the 2025 stuff that came in.
Where do you want to pump that?
Give me-
Yeah, usually. Hmm.
End of April comes back and then it comes the first May.
Even if he does come back, it doesn't tell anybody for the. When he, sometimes he comes back a little early.
No,
Blame him. Get a little more done that way. It's not too bad, is it, Chris? Start reading it. Try it this way.
You got the, we're bad years.
Evening. Is it working?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to call the Town of Shenango Planning Board meeting for Monday, April 13th, 2026 to order. Can I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Bixby,
Present.
Mrs. Mastronardi,
Here.
Mr. Zenner,
Here.
Mr. Donnelly.
Here. Okay, we'd like to do the minutes of the planning board for March 9th, 2026 approval. Has anyone got any discussion, questions, changes?
I don't.
Make a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll second.
Can we have a vote?
Ms. Bixby,
Aye.
Ms. Mastronardi,
Aye.
Mr. Zenner,
Aye.
Mr. Donnelly.
Aye. Okay, we have no advisory opinions, so we're moving on to the new business. Tesla site plan updated, 70 Shenango Bridge Road. The applicant here? Yes. Mr. Erda, did you have something you want to add or change, or is this?
I can read this one in. This was, this county wouldn't review
their application for 239 without having my letter in advance, so I did this one really early for them. If you want me to go through it, that's fine. It's a review for the reference application for a site plan for 8 Tesla charging stations. This is at the Batch Creamery. It's in a commercial development zone. They originally had been approved for 12 on the road side of the parking lot. They've decided to reduce the number to 8 on the other side, which is the south side, closer to what was the old driving range. Because it did change, we made them come back in for site plan review again. They gave a planning board application with permissions, a letter of intent, permit application for development in a flood hazard area, a short EAF, a client project narrative email, and a floodplain computation on the plan to supplement their application. That was at my request. It's a customary accessory use permitted in all zoning districts and shall follow 74B for permitting process. Letter of intent indicates that the stalls will be located on the south side of the existing gravel parking area, which is deemed impervious by New York State DEC standards. Overall site impacts are under 1 acre. There's no SWIP required. Project does require permit application for development in flood hazard areas, which was provided. Code office has to review and finalize approval of that, but I've reviewed it. They just have to ensure that all electrical components are out of the 100-year flood zone per applicable codes. They gave a computation of all cuts and fills within the 100-year floodplain and offset their fill area on the one end with a cut area on the other end for no adverse floodplain impact. If approved, the applicant shall review with the Water Sewer Department prior to construction to ensure no underground utility contacts or conflicts. That's pretty standard. On the other side, where they were before, we were closer to some of our utilities. Shouldn't be any issues here. Just so the applicant is aware, we do have an access easement to the town from Route 12A through the parking area to the town's well house west of the proposed EV chargers. Their application doesn't impact it, and we still have access, so there's no problem there. Landscaping, none was proposed. It is on the other side of the parking lot now. Site lighting information is on the project plans and appears sufficient. Short EAF, Nate will go through any of this, but the brief project description was left blank on the form, but they gave a supplement in an emailed narrative. 8B, public transportation should be marked yes. There's a BC Transit bus route there along 12A. 8C, similarly, there is a bike route there that could be marked yes along 12A. It's subject to 239 review, being within 500 feet of the county road. I think the bulk of those comments were NISDOT comments relative to any work in the right-of-way requires a highway work permit. I don't have any engineering objections to it, and the floodplain application looked good.
Thank you. So, do you have any comments you want to make addressing any of the things that he's just discussed, or any?
Nope. Dave Rabat, I'm with the engineer, Newberry Engineers. I was here, I don't know, it must have been a year and a half ago at this point to speak to the previous application. Just some changes with the landlord wanting it on the other side, and then, yeah, really it's basically the same application. We flipped a little bit further away from the road. You know, we are adding that additional parking, and as we discussed, we are elevating the electrical equipment. We're removing some soil to offset the platform to elevate that equipment, and some of the concrete, things like that. But really, pretty similar application. Happy to walk through any questions we may have, or you know, just really, I can walk through the whole site. That would be preferred, or just any questions.
I think we're pretty much familiar with the
Yeah.
project and like that, as far as, does somebody have any questions?
No,
I'm
I mean,
good
so
with
you're paving the parking lot now?
Yeah.
Which, that wasn't before, I don't think. Was it being paved last time? I don't remember.
I believe we had pavement added. I don't recall the number of stalls that we had previously, but we were adding pavement. Tesla likes to have that paved area just so, you know, it's not a gravel area for their pavement.
Okay, and it's just basically flipping to the other side with less spots, that's all it is.
Exactly.
Okay.
Shall we go ahead with the EAF, part 2?
Yeah, that would be the next step. I was just trying to think if there's any way that we could consider this a type 2 action, given the small size of the, I mean, it's a parking lot. You know, you're paving a parking lot and putting some
It's
electric
nothing.
chargers there with some infrastructure, which
nothing.
doesn't have a large footprint. You know, so one of the potential paths to that would be construction or expansion of a primary or accessory non-residential structure or facility involving less than 4,000 square feet of gross floor area and not involving a change in zoning or a use variance and consistent with local land use controls. So this would seem to potentially be a type 2 action through that lens. What's the square footage of the structures or facilities? And then, Alex, I guess I would ask you, would the parking lot be considered a facility?
Normally, I think that calculation is based on the building square footage.
Right.
So structure-wise, they really don't have much there.
Yeah, pavement is 5,600 square feet, but what you would call the equipment area, transformer pad, and charging foundation, you're talking less than,
Less than 1,000.
yeah, less than 1,000, which I was trying to see
Right.
in my brain if it was less than 500.
So, Mr. Chairman, I think if the board would like to have a motion to declare this a type 2 action pursuant to 617.5C9, you can take that path based on what we've just talked about, or we can go through it with environmental review as an unlisted action. If, that's the safest course.
Have suggestion on which way you'd rather go, or with
Type 2.
The type 2, I think.
type 2 action?
You think, you're good with that?
Yeah, I think I'm comfortable with that.
Okay.
Okay, so we just need a motion to make this a type 2 action?
Right.
I'll make a motion to make this a type 2 action.
I'll second that.
May we have a vote?
Ms. Bixby,
Aye.
Mrs. Masternardi,
Aye.
Mr. Zenner,
Aye.
Mr. Donnelly.
Aye. Okay, so it's a type 2 action.
And now you can just proceed to review the project in accordance with the normal site plan criteria.
They'll just follow up with a building permit, and we need to have somebody as a floodplain manager still, right?
That's correct.
So I gotta have somebody sign off on that application for the floodplain, but the board hasn't chosen someone yet.
Okay, so.
It's you, Jamie.
At this point, if somebody has some other information or questions or anything on the site or the site plan, we need to discuss.
I got nothing.
So this is just gonna be where they tee off, right? Where the golf was before?
I would assume, yeah.
No, it's on the,
No, it's on the other
opposite
If you look at the building, it's on the right to the side of where there's a dumpster, I believe, right now.
Yeah, so if you're looking at the building from the road.
Oh, I thought that's where it
Yeah,
was.
so it was against the road, it's just to get away from
Okay,
the road.
gotcha.
And you're putting parking spots now there, which weren't there before.
Right, it was always kind of a gravel,
Yeah.
probably used for parking if there was a lot of cars.
Yeah,
Yeah, it wouldn't be.
so it's an overflow
It's
line.
actually a little further away from the building than it was before. And
Yeah.
Do you have a timeline for how long it would take for them when they do, once they start to when they end?
I would say construction of this magnitude would be 2 months, 2 to 3 months.
Okay. Okay. I have nothing else.
So, at this point, we entertain a motion for site plan approval.
So, I'll make a motion for the site plan approval. We don't have any conditions on this one, right? We don't, no, we don't have any.
One condition that we haven't been typically putting in is maybe a deadline by which they need to start construction in order to, I'll say, vest their rights to the site plan. If they don't start construction within that period of time, then
Okay.
their site plan approval's gone. They'd have to come back. Usually like a year is pretty common. I don't know what the holdup was necessarily with the 2024 approval through today, presumably something with the owner. 18 months, 2 years. I mean, you can go out as far as you want, but at least it would put like an end date as to when, if they haven't gone forward with the project, things around can change such that you might want them to come back for site plan approval again. You don't have to, but it's something we haven't been doing, and it occurred to me because of a recent application. You know, the question was, oh, can they still come back with this? And it was like, well, there's no deadline by which they have to start. So,
Is that similar to a building permit where they get like a year to start construction?
Yeah.
They have to reapply again?
exactly. And usually it's also good to put an end date. You must start within a year, as an example, and you must be complete by the end of 2 years. And then we often look at that developer and go, is that reasonable for you? And they're usually like, yeah, that's pretty good. Or if they have a reason, we're like, well, actually, we need maybe an extra year. You know, you can discuss that with them. I mean, is either of those, like, is there a reasonable time frame for you guys? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think they're probably ready to get going at this point. There was just a lot of changes over the last year and a half at Tesla, where they probably just changed their needs. And then my only concern with, the start and end date, the end date being there would be the utility, because we're kind of beholden to the utilities transformer. Just generally, it's not an issue, but usually they'll build the site and it'll be totally, done.
And then
finished,
NYSEG
and
comes
they
in.
just wait for the utility to put the transformer. So
Yeah.
that would be the only holdup, really, that would delay that timeline past, like I said, 2 to 3 months or.
So the assumption would be completed by fall.
I would say yes. I don't know the exact date that they want to start, but I would say that a reasonable timeline would be that year and a half start, and I would say that's more than enough. And then, like I said, 2 to 3 months would be a general construction timeline, so 6 months past that. But really, I think they are ready to get going. But I don't work for Tesla, so I can't say that they are ready to put shovels in the ground.
Still like a condition to start construction within 12 months of today, and complete construction within 24 months. Sounds like it's plenty of time. His only loose end is NYSEG, because who knows when they show up. But if that's an issue, then they would come back and say, hey, can we get an extension in the condition, because we already built it. NYSEG hasn't come back, though. Come up with whatever reasons they have for why they need more time. At least it puts a start and an end date, so we know it's going to get done within a period of time.
So put that condition on my motion. Start within 12, end within 24.
Sounds right to me. So we'll add that into the motion, and can we have a vote?
Mrs. Bixby?
Aye.
Mrs. Mastronardi?
Aye.
Mr. Zenner?
Aye.
Mr. Donnelly?
Aye. So you have site plan approval, you're gonna have to get a building permit and that type of things that you're probably used to doing, and you're good to go.
All right. Hopefully, you won't see me in another 18 months.
Hopefully not.
Thank you very much for the time.
Okay, thank you.
I'll second.
No,
It's Ms., not Mrs.
Okay, next on the agenda is Dimmick Hill, Hidden Springs Maintenance Building. Mr. Erda.
Okay. This is the site plan for Dimmick Hill, okay, man, typo after typo, golf course.
What is it?
So site plan for Dimmick Hill Golf Course's maintenance building at 638 Dimmick Hill Road. They've merged their properties together out there, so where this maintenance building is now used to be on a separate, or where it's going to be, was on a separate parcel, but they merged that with the golf course parcel, so it's all one parcel now. Just so you know. This is a review for the reference application for proposed maintenance building at the Dimmick Hill Golf Course in an agricultural zoning district. They gave a planning board application with permissions, a letter of intent, email withdrawing their 2024 applications for the wedding venue and larger venue at the golf course. Griffiths Engineering gave a letter that predated the email, so the email clears up that they are withdrawing those after the Griffiths letter. Site plan property owner site plan property overview drawing. They gave an overall site plan drawing, a site plan drawing, and a grading plan drawing. They gave the Morton Building Construction Agreement, which has an elevation and a floor plan and basic building information, and they gave a short EAF. Looking at zoning section 73-45 attachment 2, schedule regulations. I didn't get a chance, I was out of town, so I hadn't had a chance to ask, just to assure this is an accessory building, not a principal. So I've reviewed it as accessory, which I believe it should be. Historically, the front of the site has been Dimmick Hill Road. I believe we'll all still keep going with that. That's the golf course front. The applicant, I just asked that they update the zoning requirement tables on all the site plans to reflect the criteria specific to the golf course and accessories. It looks like you pulled the top line of that code section, not the, item 4 is the golf course and accessory building for golf course, which has different values. They meet those values, they just are not portrayed in the table properly. Coverage for existing and proposed should include all uses at the site. Existing shows none, but the golf course is there already with the building, so that existing coverage should have shown the golf course itself plus the maintenance building. Consider having with just one chart. I think it shows up on 3 of them, so if you change it for us, maybe get rid of 2 of them so you only have 1. That way you don't have mistakes on one and not the other. On the architectural plans, they look okay. For general review, the roof is revised to 24 foot 6.5 inches. For accessories in the golf course, in ag, they're allowed 25 foot max. Site plans, again, the applicant's not advancing the 2024 project, so that's not on the plans, and they've got this as a standalone project. Why that's a big deal is they don't have to do a stormwater permit for this project. They don't have to do a SWIP amendment. They don't have to do a SWIP at all. They had a stormwater pollution prevention plan for the prior project that basically gets thrown out, and this thing is under an acre. So it doesn't have to amend that or anything. I do ask, on the project plans, there's just, I think, an errant reference to a 5-foot front setback line that's by the edge of the building. I think that's gonna end up being a side, not a front, but either way, it's not a 5-foot. Setbacks are met. Parking, we don't explicitly have a rate of parking requirement for an accessory building at a golf course. Section 73-20G2I for recreation facilities, they're subject to determination by site plan review by us. They indicate that they will have 11 employees. I don't have any objections to them using that value. If that's what they know they have out there, they have the space around the building for it. I just ask that if we're getting those tables fixed on the drawings to show the 11 stalls, and if the applicant can show us where they think those 11 stalls will fit, that'd be great. The reminder is that one of them should be an ADA stall with a van aisle. Next note's just my ADA reference. Stalls no less than 8.5 by 18. They did show us that the emergency vehicle can loop around the whole place and that they won't have problems to navigate around it. If we can have the applicant answer when I'm done on if there's any site lighting or site signage, that'd be good. Sanitary, sewer, and water service, I'll lump these together. The EAF says there's an on-site septic system and a well. I'm not sure if that's a carryover from before. I think you're not going to have any services here, but we can have them clarify that in a minute. Stormwater, again, site disturbance is less than an acre. BD's permit and SWIP are not required. Erosion control, I didn't see anything on the drawing. Really ought to have it wrapped around the bottom of your toe slope. So if you can add that silt fence to the site plan, we would need to have that. Floodplain, there isn't one. Aquifer protection zone, none. Seeker short EAF, Nate will go over that. I only had comment on number 5 for uses around it or on site that could add agricultural and other golf course. We are adjacent to agricultural districts. An agricultural data statement was provided in the 2024 site plan approval, listing surrounding farms and nearest the ag parcels. I didn't see an update to this. We have a copy of it here with us, Nate. I don't know. Diane made sure she had it with her tonight, just in case you want to see that. 239 comments so far. The only thing I saw with that was Matt's comment from environmental regarding similar to mine for clarification on the sewer and water service, if any, and what's going on there. I don't have any engineering objections to it. If you guys do choose to approve it, I'd like to just see those site plan comments that I had noted added to the plan or fixed up on the plan.
Okay, the applicant is here, and
Yeah, Chris Dancy with Bruce Engineering, so,
6, 7, 8, and 9 were my question items.
the site lighting, posts for the site will be wall packs mounted on the building. I don't believe there's any signage that's proposed for this. This is a maintenance facility that's basically for the golf course, so there's no reason to put any signage out to advertise this location. Generally, they were going to access the building, from the main golf course by golf carts with their maintenance equipment. We
far as the water and sewer, we did leave that in there, the proposed water and sewer, for the development. Right now, it's not needed, but we want to leave the option open in case they did want to put water and sewer out there, so that, we can show, location for a well and a septic system out there.
You would put it at the pole barn location?
It'll be
I don't know if we need to see it if it's not part of the,
Well, we want to typically know where that stuff is so that a future property owner coming in, looking to put stuff down, we know that they're not putting a building on the leach field or, any of that infrastructure. So I think we would need that.
you don't have bathrooms in there right now though, right? Nothing,
nothing proposed right now, it's just strictly a building right now, but still, yes, it's storage for the equipment, but in the future, if you wanted to actually put a big bathroom out there, well, septic would allow that.
So maybe I misunderstood. You're not going to put the well and septic out there right now?
Not right now,
Okay. Yeah, and it's not required by code for a storage building, I'm
no,
assuming.
and if they add a bathroom in the building and want to add a well and septic later, I don't think that's a site plan review component. They come in for a building permit to change the building with a bathroom, and I think code office would require them to get a septic system and a well designed.
We'd have to
It's a-
cross that. We'd have to look at the code
Yeah,
because site plans, I think, need to show where that stuff is going to be, and so that would be an amendment to the site plan, I think, at the time, but
you want to leave it
because
that
it's
way?
a commercial structure.
why don't we leave it that way, we'll leave the well and septic off, but just use it as a maintenance building. To draw that from the, well septic.
And then the parking, you have existing parking for all the employees today.
At the golf course right now, basically the predominant parking location is gonna be the golf course access, the maintenance building via golf carts to get out there, get the equipment to maintain the golf course and come back there. He didn't show parking at this point, because the main parking would have been taken with the employees at the current golf course.
So the plan is to put parking up by the accessory building, though.
You can have parking up there, I don't know if we need the full 11 spaces up there, I don't think we could hold the agricultural. Two parking spaces.
Yeah, Nate, if you happen to look at our code table on this, I made a note to follow up with you guys a different day. For some reason, it says, there's one piece in there where the setback note, I think, is wrong. 75, and then it says something else, and then the parking, it says 2 spaces, and I think that's just an oops.
This is an ag district, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
I would think it's see Article 6, Section 73-20, right?
Yeah, but if you look at the golf course line that we added a few years ago, it says 2 for parking.
For an accessory building.
It just says 2, like, as if it's for
Is-
the golf course
Maybe
entirely.
is this on the, oh, I see.
I mean, we really, like I said, predominantly parking is gonna be at the main golf course, but we can
Yep.
provide some parking spaces out there.
Yeah, and your space around the building is 32 feet wide, so you got plenty of room for spots all the way around it. If you call them out, they don't have to use them, but just to show them. You see what I meant, Nate, on the?
Yeah, I'm wondering if the spreadsheet got updated wrong, as opposed to this being part of the local law that was
If you look
adopted.
back on the left side also, it references 75 and then something else, and that's not right either.
Yeah.
No, they cycle in and out, so it's not allowed.
5 a day. We got guys that work through Saturday and Sunday, and we got guys that work Monday through Friday.
Yeah, so as long as they're parking somewhere, I'm not too concerned, but if you show 5 stalls around the building, call one of them ADA, in case you,
Just to have some parking available.
correct.
We'll do the 5 stalls. before it being
Do you make a note to follow up on that later, so I don't forget? I got a Post-it note on my computer at home right now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look at that right now.
I don't know when it'll come up again, but maybe never. But 2 stalls for a golf course looked a little funky. It's on the golf course line.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the local law that got adopted. That spreadsheet is wrong. Whoever updated it did it wrong. Because the local law that adopted this to allow this as a permitted use and then accessory buildings as permitted uses mentions nothing about modifying the other bulk regulations for the code. So I don't know who actually sent the spreadsheet update to E-code, but it looks wrong.
Do you think the other numbers are accurate through the whole thing, or maybe not at all then?
I won't comment.
Okay. That's fine, that's okay with me.
No well and septic, reduce parking, we will show ENS that it's not public school.
Okay. Yeah, Nate, we'll need your input on the ag district. Can they sign this form from before if nothing's changed on it? It doesn't get sent anywhere, does it? We just have to acknowledge it? Or do we?
It's been a little while since I've looked at the ag district regulations. So let me see if I can find it. Is this actually in the agricultural district?
Well, you guys
Not, I mean, like the county ag district, not the town's zoning ag district.
I believe it touches them or was within 500 feet of them, and not that they are in it. That 2 triggers for the 239 review. The other was they're close to a town line. Yeah, so on their west side, across from Dimmick Hill Road, it's a bunch of ag district over there, state ag district, and then everything to the south of them as well.
So by state law, an ag data statement is required with the application. If you are within an agricultural district containing a farm operation or on property with boundaries within 500 feet of a farm operation located in an agricultural district. So by law, that needed to have been part of the application package. And so arguably, we can't even move forward because we don't know if there's any active farms that their operations could be impacted by this. Now, we do have the one from 2024.
We reviewed it in 2025, and yeah, Diane has a copy of it. I think it's actually dated March something, 2025. And with their last project, we reviewed it and found no impact. I didn't even think about it, though, to request it again. I folded it over. Yeah, you showed it to me and I folded it over. She had it a minute ago, or before we started. I know it's there somewhere. Want me to look through a pack? Yeah, it's a March 25 document.
willing to represent that this information is still accurate?
You want to see it?
Yeah.
It's what you guys submitted last year. I think Dan even signed it. I looked at it a minute ago.
So you're willing to represent that it's accurate? So we have the ag data statement. There's 4 properties apparently used as farm operations around there. It's up to you to determine whether this structure will have an impact on the farming operations. Last time you determined that there was no impact. So then the only other thing would be, if you folks want to move forward tonight, I think you can, but then you need to be pretty clear on the conditions that need to be met, such as modifying the site plan to show the location of the parking around, you know, however many spaces of parking that you're requiring around that accessory building. Not sure if you want to require them to add the site lighting that he's mentioned that they would be putting in place. Not sure if there's anything else, Alex, that is jumping out at me as something that we might want on a site plan, or the planning board might want on the site plan. So you can either move forward tonight, put those conditions on it, as long as they satisfy those conditions and they move on their merry way. Or you can say, put those plans together, come back next month.
I say we go.
Go forward.
You good?
I'm good.
Okay. Move forward. So
Yes.
with the
Yeah, I
conditions.
think we can move forward
Yep.
with those conditions.
So then the
Do we need to do
environmental review.
environmental review?
Yes.
Okay.
So the, how big is this building again?
2,200 square feet.
So it's too big to fall under that exception that I mentioned earlier. That's 4,000 square feet and less. So you will need to review part 1 of the short environmental assessment form, which is part of the packet that was submitted by the applicant. I'd ask you all to do that, you know, refresh your memory, and ask you all if you have any questions for the applicant about the information that they've outlined in the short form. If none, then we'll move on to the review of part 2.
I say move on.
I agree.
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So then part 2, there's 11 questions that will need to be answered, as either no or small impact or moderate to large impacts may occur. The first is, will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulations? Do you all
No.
think, I hear a no,
No.
no,
Yeah.
no,
No.
no? So I think that's a no. You can check no on the first question. Second is, will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of use of land?
No.
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 Third is, will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community?
No.
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 Fourth, which does not apply here, but I'll read it anyway. Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area? Now, there is no critical environmental area in the town, so
There's no question.
this will be a no.
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 5 is, will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkways?
No.
No.
6, will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities?
No.
Nope.
7, will the proposed action impact existing public-private water supplies or wastewater treatment utilities?
No.
No.
8, will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources?
No.
No.
9, will the proposed action result in an adverse change to natural resources, e.g. wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora, and fauna?
No.
No.
Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems?
No.
No.
And then finally, will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health?
No.
No.
So then, having reviewed all of part 2 and answering each question as no, you can move on to part 3, which is a motion to make a negative declaration of environmental significance.
I'll make a motion for the negative declaration.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. May we have a vote?
Ms. Bixby?
Aye.
Ms. Masternardi?
Aye.
Mr. Zenner?
Aye.
Mr. Donnelly?
Aye. Okay, so. That being said. Do we need to do a lead agency, or we just?
No, you will sign that form, man. And that'll be it, though. And you can move forward now with review of the site plan and any other considerations, concerns that you might have, conditions that you want them to meet before a building permit gets issued, perhaps like indicating the parking around that accessory building. How many parking spaces were you guys talking about? 5, and was that acceptable to you folks? And then,
One being ADA compliant.
do you guys see any reason why you need to have more than 5?
No.
And then where will the parking actually be located? Like, around the building, but like on the east side, north side, south side, where does it make sense to put it?
Well, most likely it's gonna be away, you're gonna have overhead doors and things like that based on the building layout plan. So we're gonna place it out of the way of any of the doorways. So most likely it's gonna be adjacent to the building, most likely it'll all be clumped together.
So potentially flexible though. So what you could possibly do is have a condition that they modify the submitted site plan to show 5 additional parking spaces, 1 of which to be ADA compliant, and delegate authority to the code enforcement officer as to final location of those spaces around the accessory building.
Big thing for me was just having that, at least one ADA space, so we don't have any headaches.
And then are there any other conditions? Do you want to put a time frame for, like you did with Tesla? Start within a year, finish within 2 type of thing, or?
You ready to go soon? Yeah. Okay. So you put a 1-year time frame, put 12 months?
Yeah.
Start
12
within
months
12
slash
months,
24, within
finish in
24.
24?
Yeah.
What's that?
You ordered already?
The plans are done, I don't know how long, I gotta call them tomorrow after Thanksgiving.
Saw their January date on them, so.
So then it would be just a motion to approve the site plan with the listed conditions.
I'll motion to approve with conditions.
Okay.
I'll second.
Do we have a motion to approve the site plan with the conditions that we just discussed? And can we have a vote?
Ms. Bixby?
Aye.
Ms. Masternardi?
Aye.
Mr. Zenner?
Aye.
Mr. Donnelly?
Aye. So your site plan is approved. Need to make some modifications in the plans and
Right, and thanks.
okay, you need to get a building permit and all of that from the ordinance office. 12 and 24, yes. Okay, well, the main thing we need to do is welcome Amanda, our new member of this planning board.
New victim.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us, and I hope you have a good time. Does anybody else have anything else they need to address, ask?
No.
Nope.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Okay,
Second?
we're adjourned.